Yeah, it's a little smallie. Huh? They're aggressive. Look at how strong he is. Actually, this little guy, I could just let him go. I don't need to like take him to the shore, you know? Quite possibly the smallest smallmouth I've caught all year. You want to hold him? Okay. Just had one on 10 minutes after the bass hit. I just had a pretty, he wasn't a 40. He was a 35 all day though. Come over here, babe. I had him hooked up for just a minute. Well, a couple seconds really. I freaking love this river, Courtney. That was definitely a muskie too. Not a pike, not a bass, not a nothing like that. And I watched him eat it too, because I'm watching the bait come in, and all of a sudden I just see him open his mouth and come for it. Here, I want to get you in here. Get up in here. Cast kind of right at that little sand pile. He might go. Make sure that drag's not super tight. Okay. Make sure it's tight enough where you'll actually get hooks in them though. You know what I mean? Because if it just whiffs when he bites it, it's not gonna drive that hook into his mouth. He might not come back because he definitely had some hooks in his mouth, but you know, he might. That was freaking cool. Just like, you know, I'm looking right at him, he's looking, he's driving right for my bait. Oh man. And you're like down here by the water, not like up in a boat, looking down on him. And I waited to set the hook because I didn't know when he actually had it or not, you know? I didn't want to set the hook too soon before it was actually in his mouth because he was trailing it. Yeah, well, if he ain't gonna go, he ain't gonna go. Oh, I just had one on mid-30s, but he got off. I had the drag too loose because I didn't want to, I was just dealing with a snag. And when I went to set the hook, which I just whiffed on it, but he was still there for a minute, I just wasn't able to drive the hooks home. Dang it. I just had a good one get off. Yeah. He ate in the figure eight. I'm figure eighting at the side of the kayak, and that's where he took it. My heart literally stopped. Well, that sucks. That was so cool. That was the coolest strike I've ever had. I had my foot in the water, and I looked down at my foot and I see that muskie coming in chasing my chatterbait. And so I just about stopped, but then I realized, oh, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. So literally he came up right by my foot, and I was gonna take my foot out of the water, but I didn't want to scare him. And then he was so zoned into it, so I'm like working the bait like right like an inch past my foot as this muskie's coming after it to eat. And then he came around, and I went around one turn like this, and I went too fast, and he was like right behind it, so he's like right there. So I was doing like this, and then when I got into this turn, I just sped it up real fast, so that way you just watched him just coming, boom, you know, he opened his big jaws and smashed it. And I set the hook like this, but I had just been in a snag, so I turned my drag reel down low, just so that way in case something happened, it wouldn't pull the rod out of the boat. And when I went to set the hook, I just went zzz, and it just ran the line out. It didn't actually put any hooks into his mouth. He was still on for a good 10-15 seconds though, you know? So just the hook point was sitting in a tooth or something. It wasn't actually in any flesh. Oh, that was cool. That was so cool, Courtney. He was probably like a 34, 35. But I mean, it was like literally like within a foot of my foot as I'm retrieving, and he's just zoned in on the bait. You could see he was just coming in for it, just working his way.